And just before you begin to relax and rest deeply to this session, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it means to have strength of character. Being strong as a person doesn't mean shouting others down or being bombastic and always assuming you're right. You can have an immensely strong character and still be flexible, considerate, and able to take feedback. We often mistake obstinacy and arrogance for strength, although being strong does mean not being afraid to upset people sometimes. So what does it mean to have strength of character? Well, firstly, it's not always a good thing. For example, all the dictators in history and many of the worst kinds of criminals have been very strong characters, so of course the value of strength of character depends on what you're being strong about. If you're essentially an honest, decent, honourable, well-intentioned person, then being strong and standing firm in the face of setbacks, disagreement from others, and other types of social influence will enable these qualities to expand and develop for the good of yourself and other people. If you're not this kind of person, you should perhaps stop listening now. Setbacks, disappointments, and social disapproval serve as feedback for the strong of mind. Such challenges don't, in and of themselves, frighten them into giving up plans, ideas, or opinions. And consider this. It takes enormous strength that many political leaders seem to lack, to admit mistakes, say sorry, and change your mind about something when you get better information about it. Strength of mind stands outside and above having to be seen to be right, or even just consistent, in the eyes of others. And this is vital. Being strong means deciding what you stand for and being clear about the limits of what you will accept in yourself and others. For example, if you decide not to smoke, or you decide to commit to a regular workout, then if you're strong-minded, you'll stick to your decisions, regardless of pressures from other people or even the weak promptings from your own mind. Certain life experiences are said to develop strength of character. Usually, these experiences require or even force you to confront and overcome your fears. Avoiding what we find difficult does not strengthen us. It's like exercise. Avoiding it just makes you flabby. To become stronger in character, you need to exercise character strengths. So one way to expose yourself to character-building situations is to ask yourself, am I avoiding this confrontation or situation because it feels easier to avoid it? Am I not trying things because I'm afraid to fail? If the answer is yes, you need to get into the habit of doing things you don't want to, but which you recognize are the right things to do. As Mark Twain said, do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Most people do the opposite. If they feel too weak to do or say something, they make up reasons to justify taking the weaker course of action. We all do this sometimes, of course, but as a way of life it just makes us weak. Choosing hardship, unpopularity, or effort can sometimes be the right thing. So to be truly strong in yourself, you need to be honest with yourself and not pretend that excuses are reasons. So what stops us being strong? Well, being too concerned with what others think and trying to please means that we can stop being true to ourselves and try to base all our behavior on what we think others want. We are social creatures. We want to be seen as consistent. We want to fit in, and social pressures are strong in groups. It can seem just so much easier to go with the herd than to stand your ground and be true to what you believe, despite what others, perhaps even all others, think. But it does get easier, not just because of the real respect that comes your way as a result, but because the more you do anything, the easier it gets. Now, if your eyes haven't yet closed, you can close them now and let them begin to rest deeply. Because each time you drift off to sleep and become so deeply relaxed, you don't have to think about anything particularly when you start to drift off. You don't have to try. It just happens all by itself. And background sounds, like raindrops gently tapping on glass, or the gentle distant hum of traffic, just begin to fade out of your awareness. And as your mind retreats comfortably into itself, with each relaxing breath, you'll find my voice fading away sometimes. And that's fine, because your unconscious mind can always listen, regardless of what you're focusing on with your conscious mind. And right now, as you begin to relax deeper and prepare to become more inwardly absorbed in the images and associations your mind begins to produce, you can just take full advantage of the strength of that peace and calm, just starting to ease through your arms with a kind of trickling peaceful comfort, starting to soothe into those hands, sending your awareness into your hands as they relax twice as deeply now, knowing what you stand for, what you will stand for, and what you will not stand for. Sticking your neck out sometimes, even when others don't, for what you feel is right. And as the muscles and fibers in your neck feel the comfort of deepening rest, just notice in a moment or so the way your upper back can feel that comfort develop. That's it. And maybe you'll notice those hands getting just a little warmer, indicating deeper relaxation. Maybe even the feet feel that warmth as they too start to experience deeper comfort and peace as you rest there. And just as when you begin to delightfully slide into the deepest of soothing sleep, images of wonderful rest can come to mind. The way a person may begin to visualize a sparkling ocean view. Just glimpses at first in the mind. Those kinds of kind fragments of dreams you have as you breathe so deeply and start to drift gently into such calm, comfortable sleep, like the way the sunshine plays off the surface of the water sometimes, or the horizon of sky and sea merge in the distance, or white spray dances off the crests of waves out at sea. Or the steady, calm in and out of the sea itself can mirror the way that breath calmly comes in and out as you rest so much more completely now. And right now, you could just imagine the sense of sea salt on your lips, just as you might relaxing by the sea, or how when you feel even more sleepy, as the waves roll in and out, the sounds of seabirds weave in and out of consciousness as your whole body relishes this rest now. And you have a core to you, a center of deep strength. And even though daily life, with its distractions and conditionings, can sometimes obscure that strong center, the way the sands of time long hid the treasures of ancient Egypt, and what seemed like empty lands contained such wonderful treasures. And bit by bit, in such a curious way, you can notice what it's like to get in touch with that center of strength and find you can deeply relax with your own strength, almost as if you can feel it with the hands of your mind. Infinite, limitless strength. Just uncovering that bit by bit. The sensation, such firmness, standing strong, actually starting to feel this strength within you. Somehow familiar, yet wonderfully new too. Feeling it grow in power and fortitude with every moment that passes. And you know, you'll experience this sensation sometimes when you need it in day-to-day life. Because sometimes you need to set your position firmly down in the sand, make it stick, and be a force in your own right, Because the alternative of being weightless, a lightweight, blown here and there, hither and thither, by the opinions or dictates of others, may not be right for you, because your mind will tell you the buck stops right here. And you can feel that strength forming right now, even stronger. Immovable strength sometimes, but still with a wonderful flexibility of mind. And there are parts of your life where you don't yet exercise enough strength, and you know you should. Maybe with a particular person or people, maybe with yourself, perhaps giving up too easily sometimes, or taking the easy option. And just notice in a moment or so now how your unconscious mind can just start to show you typical times where you have tended to be weaker than you need to be, like images before your eyes on a screen of light before you. And you can find that you can select one instance where you really want to introduce your own strength. And when I count to 3, you can just begin to feel that infinite strength transmitting from you here now, perhaps through your fingertips, into that you in that situation, ready to transform the way you act within that time. And 1, getting ready. And 2, for the strength from the core of you to suffuse this time and place where it's needed. And 3, and you can even sense perhaps the raw, unbreakable yet flexible strength filtering through your fingertips like a physical force, flowing through and out of you, and into that you within that situation beginning right now. And now just sit back, relax, and watch yourself, and listen to yourself in that time. But now so strong in yourself, and you can really relish watching this right now. And you can rest so deeply in all the fibers and muscles and every particle of your skin as you take all the time you need to notice all the ways you're so different, deeply changed in this type of time, so strong and firm, resolute and steadfast. And each time you relax so deeply to this session, you can select a different time and type of situation from your life and infuse it with your rightful strength of mind. And right now, you can just begin to drift into the situation you've been watching and notice how it actually feels inside to merge with that so strong you and be so strong within this time, standing firm, drifting in and living this right now. To keep going when others weaken, to know your own mind and be true to it, to be loyal and decent and kind and generous, to be able, when it's right, to put aside your own immediate wants and help people with real needs, to stand up to people and be firm, to know what you will and won't accept, and to be true to this, because you can actually feel this core of strength within you. So reassuring, as if it will let you know it is there when you need it most. And who was it who said, "It takes more courage to deal with insecurities than to hide them, more strength to relate to people than to dominate them, more man and womanhood to abide by thought-out principles rather than blind reflex. Toughness is in the mind and spirit, not in muscles and an immature mind." And you know, anyone can give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. But to hold it together when everyone else would understand if you fell apart, that is true strength. And we hear so much about personality, which is just surface when you think of it. And we hear less about character, which is what you really are deep down. And when you have developed your character, your personality on the surface will take care of itself. And now, see if you can notice which breath gives you the most energy as that breathing begins to quicken ever so slightly. indicating you can become more alert and outwardly focused again, slightly. And you start to feel those first signs of being comfortably roused with a sense of well-being and contentment, so that in just a few moments you can come back to the room or the place that you're in completely, perhaps enjoying a nice stretch as you do so, and you can open those eyes and return to a wakeful, alert state of mind and body. Good. And welcome back.